I love WWE. I love WWE.
Bloody, what if Vladimir Kozlov returned at the Royal Rumble?
I mean, he's got the look for it now.
He'd probably get a massive pop. I won't, to be honest. He probably would.
I'm not sure, but he's now obviously got a great look because obviously he's a
but I feel like he's
like a stunt double or whatever.
He is such a meme though, and everyone who watched the PG
He
era
would get a big
remembers who
pop
he
on the
is.
internet. That's for sure.
The last time he appeared was when Mark Henry, World's Strongest, slammed him onto a chair, and then crushed his leg.
And then he was released.
Yeah, and then CM Punk mentioned his name to John Laurinaitis. Double E.
You have to show Daniel SmackDown this week to see what he thinks.
Vladimir Kozlov.
Did you see Cody Rhodes when he comes out for his entrance?
No, I did not, because I've been at work.
He hugged the Down syndrome person in the crowd. I just want to see Daniel watch that.
Right. Daniel thinks that, what do you call it? Is it philanthropy or whatever it's called? He just thinks it's really stupid, which is funny because
making someone's night, like they're gonna think about that for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, if you show Daniel that, he'll probably his reaction will be hilarious.
No, Daniel just gets really funny about that sort of thing. He's yeah.
Yeah, man, I hate it when people make people with disabilities a day. You know, I hate it. So cringe.
Nah, it's just Daniel would have to. He has to explain it in his tone of voice. I can't speak for him. It's only funny when he says it, and it's funny because it's funny because he's being stupid in saying it.
You know what I saw? It's not related, Connor, but I saw literally about an hour ago a tweet of someone quoting a clip from Sex Education.
Yeah.
Of God, I forget the character's name. The person that Otis dates in season 3.
Oh, Ruby.
What's her name? Ruby, yeah. And I feel like the tweet. I think it was Too Cold Scorpio or whatever. I don't think the actual person. Like something to a king of like she's like he's simping over her and stuff like that. It's just
really
funny to think about when you haven't watched the show.
Oh right. Yeah, that's not at all what happens. It's actually the opposite.
I feel like the clip I'm actually looking at a clip of it right now, and I'm assuming that's from season 4.
Anyway, Backlash France.
Oh boy!
Get on bloody topic.
No.
This is a very delayed review because we had some scheduling issues. Because one of the people in this call had a wedding anniversary. That was much more important. Much more important. I can't believe that was a year ago. Feels like yesterday.
I know.
Time goes by. But yes, we had a premium live event in France. Mr. Backlash is what it was. And after WrestleMania's title split and my defending my half at Dynasty, Regan and I came into this show to see who the real world's champion is. And the difference was 1 point. And I won.
Oh God.
So you came very close, but no cigar. You are still not
officially undisputed prediction of champion.
Yeah, you came so close, but you're still not an official champion.
Not yet.
But at least we know that you can be competitive.
What's that supposed to mean, Connor?
I don't know.
Supposed to mean he books it all and wins it himself.
You think
LPW all over again?
Do you think I'm paying off Triple H? Books the show so that I win the predictions.
That's a despite Railgun.
Yeah, always despite Railgun, right? Remember when you went into business for yourself and you changed the ending of a match with Sean Loki?
No one wanted to see him win.
It was supposed to
Why?
be. It was supposed to be him rolling you up dirty, and instead you made it a DQ.
Yep, I wasn't getting pinned.
That doesn't work for me, brother. Cue the Hulk Hogan TNA music. Anyway, Backlash France. A show that I think a lot of people thought was very, like, just as a wrestling show, quite predictable going in, but excited to see the energy. And I think, really, for me, that was the highlight of the show, was the crowd and how they were consistently into it all night. And that really bounced off the talent. Pretty much everything on this show went exactly as I predicted, except for one thing. The event that I predicted to happen happened with a different person. Instead of, because I predicted that I thought that Jacob Fatu was going to debut on this show, and instead it was Tangaloa instead. But exactly everything else happened exactly as I said. So in my view, it was quite a predictable show, but one that was elevated by its crowd atmosphere.
Yeah, that crowd was nuts.
Yeah, Callum, you didn't have the stakes of any predictions this time, but what did you think of the show watching it?
Thought it was pretty fun, very fun show. I'm very used to these kind of atmospheres as a football fan who goes to a lot of football games. Like a lot of Premier League games and the places I go to are very much, the crowd is very much like this, very high energy, very enthusiastic. So it had that akin to it for me, and it was very enjoyable for that fact. It kind of raised the level of every match pretty much, apart from maybe one, but yeah, that's neither here or there.
Yeah. Regan, did you enjoy this show?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was all good. I didn't like the women's tag match. That felt a bit, I don't know, drawn out. But apart from that,
I think it was
everything
just
else
quite
was good.
sloppy at times, especially near the end.
Yeah, I thought like there were definitely some botches at the end there.
Yeah, it seemed like it felt like a TV match on pay-per-view.
But apart from
honest.
that, everything else was great.
Yeah, it was kind of just a solid wrestling card with a great atmosphere that elevated it.
Yeah, and the crowd was just insane.
Yeah. We kicked off pretty hot actually with, as you predicted when you did the predictions, Regan, they couldn't contain the brawling in this. So what was it? Nick Aldis came out and made it a street fight match.
Street fight. Yeah, there was no way it was going to be a normal match. So that was good. That made it better.
This to me was like one big pendulum of a match, because basically what you had was you had Randy Orton and Kevin Owens dominating for ages, and then eventually it switched. It pivoted back, and then near the end, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens are about to get, like, you know, it was about to pivot back to them, and then that's when you got the interference from Haku's other son. And that's how the Bloodline picked up the win. I thought this was a fun, rowdy brawl. And you could definitely tell in Kevin Owens' entrances, the French were very happy to see him.
Yeah.
Yeah. This went, I would say this match went pretty much as it should have gone. I quite liked it. And what they did with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I thought the babyfaces were going to win for a minute at the start, so it was good.
Mm.
Correct ending.
Crowd were electric for this match, start to finish.
Yeah, what was your thoughts on the match though, Callum?
Thought it was really fun, just really fun, like street fight, which was awesome to way to start it out. Nick Aldis comes out and makes it a street fight because, you know, these guys just fucking are just unable to really be controlled properly. So making it a street fight was absolutely the right call. Yeah, and this match was just really fun, hardcore match.
Do you think they're doing a good job in introducing the Tongans to the WWE audience?
From what I've seen, I think they've done a decent job.
I mean, they certainly building up to Backlash, tried to present Tama Tonga as a force to be reckoned with, for sure.
Yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah.
They did that.
No, I
He
don't know.
drove
You've
his car,
you've
Kevin Owens' car.
yeah. I don't know if you've seen a clip of someone filming from the outside, but the spot where what's his fucking name again? Tamalonga or whatever his name is.
Tangaloa, yeah.
Yeah, he missed his spot, so the ref had to move himself to interrupt the pin, and it's
Oh.
just quite unfortunate.
Oh,
There's a
really?
very good angle from the commentary desk of that.
Well, that is unfortunate.
It is very unfortunate.
Watching your debut.
Yeah, I remember seeing that after. Yeah,
I mean, it's not quite Shockmaster level, though, is it? There was one point when Tama Tonga was bashing Kevin Owens over the head with the lid of a rubbish bin.
Yeah, I thought that was. Oh boy.
Yeah, they certainly are.
But they do seem pretty flimsy though. Maybe they're not very.
Maybe. Oh, it's aluminium. It's not gonna hurt him, but the force of the way he swings it that makes it look like it hurts a lot more than it probably does.
It can still hurt you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is the punt banned?
Sorry?
Does Randy just not do it anymore? The punt.
Oh, it's very special occasions. He usually does it when he's a heel, not a babyface. He punted Ric Flair in the pandemic. I remember that. That was like what, 2020? Yeah, because there was no fans, so it would have been before the Thunderdome. So yeah, he punted Ric Flair. I remember that. But they had to turn the lights off so it wasn't real. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong about this, but wasn't that one of Ric Flair's last WWE appearances? I think it may have been. But yeah, he usually doesn't do the punt as a babyface. I mean, he did do the punt during the Nexus feud back in a long time ago. That's how Husky Harris, quote unquote, his character got written out. And that's when he became Bray Wyatt. And then there's all this lore about how Husky Harris became Bray Wyatt because of the punt. That's when he went all crazy.
Mm.
There was
He was just waiting for his bus.
Yeah, as expected, with these shows, they always do this with the WWE shows, is they always tease the announce tables throughout the night. I've noticed that's become a thing at like every pay-per-view in LA. They always play around with the announce tables. But of course, you know, part of that's also because Randy Orton has like the famous memes of him doing the back suplex to the Singh brothers on the table. One moment I did really like though was when Kevin Owens did that, the reversal suplex of the second rope to Tama Tonga. He did it through the chairs. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that looked phenomenal.
Oh yeah, super cool.
Yep.
No one can suplex Kevin Owens.
Yeah, it's a special reversal. I liked when Tonga Loa was in the ring putting his figure up. Paul Heyman looked really scared of him.
Been like that every week.
Yeah, well, he doesn't know the Tongans like he knows the Samoans, though. He's very unfamiliar with this crop.
Yeah, they're all the same.
Well, that's what Daniel would say.
Yep.
This video is just let's roast Daniel for all his shit takes. Anyway, yeah, I think this match did what it needed to do overall.
Yeah, it was fun.
Good fun. Then we had a triple threat match for the WWE Women's Championship. We had Bayley versus Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton. Again, this match went pretty much how I expected it to.
Great match.
Yeah, this was really good, wasn't it? I actually think, from what I remember, because it's been a while since I watched it, when we watched it live. This was actually better than I expected. I don't know what I expected, but it did surprise me. It did surprise me how good this was.
Yeah, this was definitely
Tiffany
the
Stratton
expectation.
is brand new, pretty much. She is killing it.
Yeah, like 2 years ago, she was super green on NXT. It really wasn't that long ago. In fact, it was not even that. It was, it was maybe even less than 2 years ago.
It was pretty much around when Mandy Rose was released, right?
Yeah, 2022. It was like sort of
2 years.
Middle of 2022. So yeah, about 2 years. She was super green, and somehow she's just picked it up really quickly.
She is so over.
Yeah, even though she's a heel.
She's great. So athletic.
Mm-hmm.
She's great.
Yeah, they really. I mean, I guess she's one of the people that has been kind of built from the ground up by the Shawn Michaels NXT. Because Tiffany Stratton kind of started when Vince was being phased out around the middle of that year. So she's really she is a product of that system, and if this is a sign of how quickly they can make a star out of someone, I think that's a very, that's a very good thing.
That's very promising.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of wrestlers that take a very long time to really get it, to really find it, and she's found it, almost all of it. She's a great athlete. She knows how to get heat. She has a great presentation and character. She has confidence. Like, it's obviously she has a background in gymnastics, and they always remind you of that. But it is interesting how quickly she has been able to find all the tools. And there's still lots of time as well for her to grow and improve even more. As you say, Regan. She really should be. She really is the prime candidate for the Money in the Bank this year, isn't she?
But yeah, well, I mean, she's out of the Queen of the Ring tournament, so give her the briefcase.
Mm.
And that could be very good.
But yeah, a lot of this was a highlight for Tiffany, but obviously it not being quite her time yet. It's kind of the main story I got out of this match. Naomi did really well. Bayley is obviously a great storyteller. Kind of just, I think Triple H mentioned it in press conferences in the past about Bayley is very giving. She's one of those talents that always thinks about, how can I make my opponent look really good? Which is why everyone wants to work with her. Yeah, I thought this was a really solid match. And yeah, as I predicted, Bayley retained. You give your thoughts.
I thought this match was fucking awesome. Really better than expectations. I thought this was going to be like a pretty decent match. But I think actually all three women actually pulled out the stops. Really good structure, really good. Nothing I really noticed that fell apart, which is great to see.
Yeah. Yeah, because triple threat matches can
really enjoyed this body match.
Triple threat matches can be tricky.
Can be a shit show.
They can be really tricky. But when you get it right, they can also be great.
Naomi looked pretty good.
Yeah, it kind of just got like, maybe it's because they just somehow like managed to get all the basics on point. All the selling was really good. All the timing was really good. All the moves were great. The storytelling was there. The right characters were in the match. Like they just seems to do all of it really well, and that and on top of that, with the crowd being into it, singing the Bayley song and everything, I think it just kind of worked. They just really constructed something that I don't know why I didn't expect this. I feel like I should have, but it might be because there's so many examples of this kind of match on paper not fulfilling its potential, that I maybe thought that it would have that same thing to it. But then the match happened and it did fulfill that potential. So very happy. I also kind of like how Bayley had to very quickly find a way to get out of the match with a win. And also we saw like a rare thing that you don't see a lot in wrestling is that Bayley pinned Naomi and she wasn't like super upset about it. She was actually very, very like, she like hugged her afterwards. It was like a very admirable loss. So that was nice.
It was an unexpected finish. I didn't think it would finish just off a reverse roll up, but sure.
Yeah,
I guess
I
it
mean,
makes Naomi not look. It keeps her looking.
but
fine,
I also
guess,
think
if she
it
didn't
shows
lose to a
that
massive-
I think it also shows that in the match that Bayley knew that she had to get it over somehow because it was getting pretty like difficult. She had to, while Tiffany was out away, she had to get it done. Otherwise, it could be, it could be a situation where Tiffany pins Naomi and Bayley loses the title out of her control. So yeah, I think they did it. They did it very well. I was very impressed.
Yeah, I thought it was a very good match.
And then we got a really great small moment. I thought this was actually one of my favorite things on the show, was when the new Bloodline bumped into Jey Uso backstage. This was great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that was when Paul Heyman looked at him like.
Yeah, they all walked into him and they all gave him the look. It was so. Oh, it was just great. So great. Then we had.
nice to have moments where Jay feels like a character.
Oh, fucking yeah, absolutely.
And he doesn't just say yeet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just sort of fit, especially even after this this show, he sort of reverted back to I say yeet, and that's my character.
Yeah,
which is a real shame.
It's one of those things where I think the company has realized how over he is, and they decided to make him a product.
Yeah, it's just.
But speaking about the show though, Jey Uso's entrance was awesome. The way when he came out in the crowd and everyone had the lights on.
Like he's still, he may be slowly turning into a bland character, but he is still very much over at the moment.
Yeah.
And credit to France, who actually did the Firefly yeet motion. I guess you could.
I think it's now that the whole bloodline thing for him is kind of concluded for the most part. It's Jey Uso doesn't really have much of a feud or a character thing to sink his teeth into, and that's probably why he's kind of stagnating. And I say that, and he had a world title match on the show, but I still kind of feel that way. But regardless, Damian Priest came out. He's great. I love Damian Priest.
Yeah, Damian Priest is cool.
Yeah, very naturally confident.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I was talking before about like Tiffany Stratton and how quickly she's come to rise. Damian Priest, when you look at his career, he's kind of like the opposite of that, and LA Knight's also the same. It took him a very long time to get to this stage. The long grind he did as Punishment Martinez through the Indies it took him a very long time to really find his peak, the Archer of Infamy. Yeah. What do we think of this one? Damian Priest and Jey Uso.
I don't actually remember that much from this match.
Yeah, I feel like this is the one I remember the least from on the show.
I feel like that's because there's not a lot of heat going into the match. It feels like they've missed out on a lot of decent potential of what kind of story they wanted to tell.
Well,
it just kind of feels like this match always felt like it's just happening.
Well, what's also a big problem is that in the build-up to WrestleMania, Roman Reigns buried this title and called it the Losers Bracket belt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And now you got two guys who feel like upper mid-card fighting for a world title.
Yeah, it's because of that. It feels like the upper mid-card belt.
Like, is there really, when you think about it, is there really that much tangible difference outside of arbitrary names between the prestige of this and the Intercontinental or US title?
Hmm. The only thing that's saving it is the amount of work Seth did to try and make it feel at least somewhat relevant.
What? I mean, if this was Drew McIntyre and CM Punk feuding for the title, it would feel like a main event belt.
Oh, when we get to that is when it's going to feel big time at the moment because of and I think it is to do more with the characters involved in this match. They are
Yeah.
not they're not main eventers, unfortunately, because
Well,
they've
not
not
at the
been booked as
moment.
that
Not at the
properly.
moment, no. I
They're
mean, Jay,
over.
well,
Jay is over, but he's not positioned as a main eventer.
well, 1 year ago,
He's main event Jey Uso.
Well, ironically, I mean, 1 year ago, Jey Uso was main event level. But at the moment, I don't feel that same way.
Yeah. I feel like when it was Money in the Bank / Night of Champions the month before that is sort of when he was probably at his most interesting as a character.
Yeah, and sort of leading into SummerSlam before the show.
Yeah, before the match itself was pants.
Yeah. Priest has had his moments. I mean, the previous year's Backlash, he had that match with Bad Bunny. And that was a huge deal for him.
Yeah.
And it should have been the main event, but instead it was Brock versus Cody.
I feel like that match is what is, I think reportedly because the officials backstage were so impressed with Priest in carrying that match into something that was like incredible. He's garnered this much faith, and it's probably one of the big reasons why they've now put the belt on him and why they made him Money in the Bank. Like, he is a reliable hand.
Yeah, but he's going to lose it in Glasgow, isn't he?
Yeah, I'd imagine he will, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully they can tell a
Punk
good
shows up and
story.
interrupts it.
I think that's the only
Make him
saving
lose
thing about
again.
it. If he was to keep the belt.
CM Punk will make it out of Glasgow alive if he does that.
It would be good though. Punk being another interruptions at Clash, especially now that we know that Drew has resigned. That actually, if there is a way that Priest retains, it will be Punk interrupting and costing Drew,
will mess with him again,
which will be mirroring the last Clash of the Castle.
Well, I mean, it would be an arena of Scots booing CM Punk, which would be quite entertaining.
Which I think they know that. Yeah, they know that will happen.
That'd be great. He'll get so much heat.
Well, Punk always has that great shit-eating grin whenever he does do that.
Yes, and he's also a big Bret. He's also
jump over the barricade.
He's also a big fan of Bret Hart, who is exactly the same. Where he would get booed in one town and cheered in the other, depending on his allegiance.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when he was feuding with MJF and he went to Long Island and just the crowd were fully against him and he made fun of them.
And seemingly Punk is on due to heal on time, so I imagine SummerSlam is actually very possible.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I mean, I would say this was better than Jey Uso's previous pay-per-view match.
Oh, easily.
Better than the match he had with Jimmy Uso.
I like Damian Priest. He's good.
Yeah, I do like Damian Priest, but I think the issue really is that there's just too many top guys in WWE. He just doesn't quite. He's not high enough in the pecking order, is he? But I will say, if this is all leading to a match with Finn Balor at some point, maybe SummerSlam, maybe WrestleMania, I don't know.
He's got to break away from them, surely, after what happened at the pay-per-view and then on Raw.
Yeah.
He's not happy with them.
I would hope SummerSlam is when they do it. That it could be very interesting. Because Finn Balor has also re-signed as well. So they'll want to do something with him. Big year for contracts, 2024. Yeah, I thought this match was fine.
Yeah, I think the best part about it really was when Finn and
JD
JD McDonough
McDonough.
interrupted JD McDonough.
And obviously the entrances.
Priest was not happy.
Oh, and then they
That-
started beating on Jay, and he was pissed off.
Yeah.
I will say, actually, that's something I really did like about this show was the entrances. They were all great.
Oh yeah, well, entrances were all great.
Yeah.
Felt big time.
Yep. I liked how when they announced the attendance or whatever it was, they had one of the French commentators doing it. That was a nice touch.
Yeah, that's cool.
Although it would have been nice to have live subtitles, but I don't know if that's possible. Because it could have come out really poorly translated.
No, it's not. Because if you have subtitles on a live event, it'll be delayed because they're typing it out as it happens. So it's physically impossible.
When I was more talking like automatic captions, which would have been really glitched. Because sometimes
automatic captions only work with pre-made videos, I think.
Really? What about AI?
Well, yeah, AI, I guess you could work your way into using that, but I'd rather they don't use AI for this.
Yeah, I know. I was saying that's why they shouldn't use it. Because it would just be so shit. Like, imagine if he says something and it translates to something completely different.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, the attendance of this crowd was 5 rolling potatoes. Like, something like that. I don't know. Just something very strange. Anyway, we had the women's tag team title match. So, you are right in saying that this match wasn't great in ring, per se. There were issues with it. However, what I will say is, I think for the first time in a very, very long time, if not ever, I feel like the women's tag team belts actually mean something. Because for a lot of their run, they've been, you know, the bottom of the bottom
for pretty much all of them.
I mean, especially during when Vince was booking. Jesus Christ!
By the way, this match is brought to you by Prime, specifically. This
Logan
match
Paul,
is specifically sponsored.
Logan Paul, who's not on this show.
No, but he'll be at the next one.
He will be, yes, because it's in Saudi Arabia, and they'll pay lots of money to have Logan Paul.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am happy that the women's tag belts are actually getting something to do, something
Yes,
decent.
hopefully this run will be good and build toward an eventual turn with Jade.
Yes, well, I mean, as I say,
or Bianca if they wanted to turn Bianca.
Well, you've put the belts on 2 very major stars, so that has to mean something.
Yeah. Mm.
They've invested a lot of money in both of them. But yeah, as a match though,
the match I was the most meh about.
It was very botchy.
Yeah, as a match, it was pretty sloppy.
And over Bianca, is she better as a heel because she's so boring?
She hasn't been a heel since NXT like 5 years ago. Her entire main roster run has been babyface. I don't know if they'll turn her heel. I don't know if they'll ever turn her heel. She's kind of like got the John Cena thing where she's so involved in charity that they don't want to give that up. But I think she could make a great heel.
Definitely.
Yeah, or at least just show some edge. She showed a little bit of it last year when she went to SmackDown.
Yeah, show some. Yeah.
She had a promo with Charlotte Flair where she showed something, and then that's kind of just gone away recently.
Yeah, show that Adam Copeland.
I'm kind of with you though. Like with Bianca, it's like she's always a great athlete, and has great presentation, but as a character, the babyface thing has gotten stale. and it definitely got stale when she was champion. The never-ending feud with Damage Control, which seemingly this is the end of it. Is it? Because like they've been doing this ever since Triple H took over
Well, they're
in
on different
2022.
brands now.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, they are.
So
They are on different brands.
Damage Control's on Raw, so that's done.
Yeah, and she no longer has beef with Bailey that I know of.
Which doesn't make any sense, but sure, they can
Yeah.
just let that go.
But yeah, I do think Callum has a point that this will probably eventually lead to a Bianca Jade singles feud down the line, which makes sense.
Well,
I'd be shocked if it
I mean,
didn't.
if you saw SmackDown, Jade will be annoyed now because she's not in the semi-final of the King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring. But Bianca is, so because Jade
Well,
and
was Jade in the tournament
Nia,
or no?
yeah, Jade and Nia had a match on this SmackDown, and Nia was just destroying her in front of her girl, like her daughter was there, and she was like, "Your mom sucks." And then they went into the timekeeper's area. Nia gets a chair, goes to smack her. Jade catches it, rips it out of her hand, and smacks Nia with it. So then
so
the ref's like,
Oh,
So she got
and the ref's like,
DQ'd.
well, yeah. The ref
That's,
looks at her and he's like, well, you're out.
There should be a meme because it's like in AEW they have what's it called, like referee's discretion or something, and she forgot that doesn't
then-
work here.
So that happened, and then the crowd just started chanting bullshit.
Yeah, that is pretty
And then they had
stupid to be
Then
honest.
they had a massive brawl afterwards. So
Hmm.
now it's Nia versus.
Well,
Bianca.
from my
goes
perspective,
to
Jay
the
can't
final.
blame anybody but herself.
Yeah, I mean Nia baited her, so she went to hit her, and
Was it presented as she was
smacked
doing
her
it out of
herself.
pure anger or something?
Yeah, she was pissed off. Like Nia went to because she threw her in front of her kid. She looked at her kid over the barricade and said,
She
"Your mom
was
sucks," and
seeing
then-
red.
Yeah, she went to smack her with the chair. She caught it, and then she smacked Nia because she was pissed
Well,
off.
as I've said this before, but as someone who watched Jay's run in AEW, she's definitely better as a heel. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she'll be annoyed because her partner's in the final, semi-final, and not her.
Regardless.
Which I don't know why they put the tag champs in that bracket anyway. They could have given it to two other people.
They always do this. They put tag champions in Royal Rumbles, in Money in the Bank matches, in all sorts of things. They always do this. It's a common trope. Also, apparently, Asuka is going away because she's had an injury. That's
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
real injured. Yeah, she's not been on TV. It's just been the other three.
also, that's one other thing I can say because it's happened recently is the entire of X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, has been simping for Dakota Kai recently.
Oh yeah, I've been seeing that.
Yeah. They're all, what are they saying? Like, this is the kind of woman you'd build a house with your bare hands for?
Yeah, and then she screenshotted it and she put it on her Instagram story.
Yeah, that's right. She said what kind of house she wants. It's like one of those ones with like a
something
deck.
by the water or something.
Yeah. I know the one. It's one of those like New Zealand holiday houses on the beach side.
Yeah. So she's going along with it.
Of course she is.
I mean, she had a good match on Raw against.
Dakota's great.
She had a good match against the bird chick.
The what? Wait, who?
That's what, she's from NXT. She's got like the feathers.
Oh, Lyra
She's
Valkyria.
Irish.
Lyra Valkyria. Is that
Yeah.
the one? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Dakota called her the bird chick.
The check. But Dakota's great athlete, great personality, but she loses a lot of matches, so that's unfortunate.
That's a shame.
She's
Yeah,
basically she's become the Dolph Ziggler of the women's division because she sells really well and loses a lot of matches.
Give the Kiwi girl the title.
I got in trouble with Evie because I said she looks good for 36. Apparently I'm being
She does.
misogynist.
Oh my goodness. I couldn't believe when I saw that she's 36.
I think she looks better now than she did when she was 26. I don't know how she does it. She just doesn't, like, the fountain of youth is on her
when
side.
I first discovered who Dakota Kai was, I thought she was in her mid-20s.
Yeah, I knew she was a bit older than that because I saw her in NXT in like 2015. That's 9 years ago.
I think I discovered her in like 2016 when she was streaming with New Legacy.
Yeah.
She's one of the boys.
Yeah, but it's crazy actually.
Yeah. She's great. Deserves a lot more.
But genuinely, she's one of the older women on the roster. Can you believe that? It doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like it at all. Number one, because she looks so youthful, and secondly, she has such a bubbly personality. She doesn't seem like.
And she also just doesn't really get a lot to do on the main roster compared to a lot of other wrestlers.
And that
might also be a factor.
She's had to go on a long journey to get here as well. It's taken her a long time to reach this point. Remember how Vince fired her? That was stupid.
Of course he did.
Yeah. The first pay-per-view after Vince left, Triple H brought her back immediately.
Yeah, thank God.
She got signed like a day before SummerSlam 2022 and then just appeared. That's wild. Anyway, Dakota's great. She should have more matches.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the fact
hopefully in a year or so, when Damage Control is ended, she can have like a. By then, hopefully they've introduced a mid-card women's title, and she can have that.
That's a good point, actually.
That's what everyone's been asking for.
That's what they should be introducing, especially since NXT has one. Why doesn't the main roster have one?
Mm.
Like, you can build up. I feel like do it in the lead up to into SummerSlam.
I'll tell you the reason. Right? I'll tell you the reason. Right, NXT has a very large women's roster, and it has a single brand. The main roster has two brands that are separated, and so yes, there is no mid-card title, but there are two world titles on one per brand. Whereas NXT is one brand with a large roster that is shared. And that's probably the reason why it would be difficult to have a mid-card title. The other thing is that if they have a women's mid-card title, you have to imagine that they would have to travel between brands as well. Which is possible, but that's what they would have to do.
I mean, they probably need something, because there's so many people that won't get a world title.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, AEW has a mid-card women's title, but they don't have a brand split like WWE does.
No.
And who was the first TBS champion? Jade Cargill. Fun fact. She had it for, what, a year and a half, I think? She had a very long time. Lost it about a year ago. In her, I want to say, second to last match in AEW, she lost it. Yeah. Anyway, Jade and Bianca are the tag champions. Fascinated to see where this goes. Cool. When was I mean, I know Ronda Rousey had it a year ago, but she'd been so far past her expiry date by that point. Like, when was the last time the women's tag belts were held by like someone who is considered a main event star?
Sasha Banks.
Probably, because the thing is, Io Sky did have them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But this was before she won the world title.
Yeah, it would absolutely would have been Sasha Banks.
It has to be Sasha Banks, and that was over 2 years ago now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was very near the end of Vince's run when that happened. And Sasha Banks walked out because she felt disrespected.
Well, that's why they left.
Yep. I think Sasha Banks was pissed off because Ronda Rousey stole her Royal Rumble win.
Hmm.
It probably was not worth it, to be honest. They only did it so they could finally do that one-on-one match with her and Charlotte. That they wanted to do at 35, but Becky Lynch Mania took over. Yeah. Anyway, after this, we got an ad for King of the Ring. King and Queen of the Ring, I should say.
Yes.
There's been a bit of heat about that tournament.
Why is that?
Because Jey Uso beat Ilya Dragunov, that's why.
Yeah,
yeah, but it makes sense. You don't want to have those two fight each other on a random episode of Raw. That's what everyone was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you just want Gunther and him on Raw?
Yes, but because it was Jey Uso that beat him, it means you're getting heat on him. At least temporarily. It probably will fade. But the crowd... If you had a heel beat Ilya Dragunov, that would have been different. I just think people really like that. They just really like him. I mean, the match he had with Ricochet was awesome.
Randy Orton beat Carmelo Hayes. Are people going to whinge that he beat him?
No. Hayes is a heel.
I think because I think Dragunov is like an all-time great wrestler.
Yeah, Hayes is awesome. Hayes is awesome. Don't get me wrong, and he has a big future. But Ilya Dragunov is like,
it's more to do with the fact they want to see Dragunov Gunther.
That's true.
Than anything.
Yeah. So they were teased,
which is like one of the best matches the company's ever done.
Berlin.
Two of the best matches the company's ever done.
Yeah, two, yeah.
Yeah. It was. I mean, I would argue
they can do it there.
I would argue that the first Dragunov Gunther match, well, I guess technically it was Walter back then, was probably the best match from the pandemic in any company. That includes both sides. That match in NXT UK was just because there was no fans, so all the chops you could hear, like you could hear the volume of them, and there was no one reacting, and it was just like watching a murder happen in the ring. And then they had their rematch at TakeOver, and Dragunov beat him. Anyway, the main event was Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles. AJ was wearing he was wearing a remade gear that was based on the gear he wore when he beat Dusty Rhodes in TNA 20 years ago.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yep. And he came out to his shit Def Rebel entrance music.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, his theme's fucking trash.
Yep.
Really shit. But crowd will enter him.
Yep. Dave Meltzer gave this match 5 stars, by the way.
Oh, fuck Dave Meltzer.
I think it's deserved. I think this match was awesome.
Yeah, it is an awesome match, but it is an awesome match, but his ratings are so inconsistent.
No, they are.
He's an idiot.
You're telling me that this was better than every Kurt Angle match ever? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Isn't the meme that I don't know if people say much anymore, but isn't the meme like his star ratings is actually out of like 10 and he hates wrestling?
Yep. Yeah, the only like really good match was one match that they got 7 stars. 7 out of 10. But you know, I that's the issue I have is that
anyone likes them. So.
Meltzer. Oh, some people do.
I know Seth Rollins hates him.
Yeah. Well, I think
my
biggest issue with Meltzer isn't even his inconsistent ratings. It's the fact that he spreads fake news all the time. He just he makes up like random bullshit, and it's not accurate reporting, and it just constantly
people just roast him, and they're like, "Lol, you're wrong."
Yeah, he just constantly like he'll hear something and he'll conflate it to some like a news story that just doesn't even resemble the truth at all. But focusing on the show, yes, you're right. This was an awesome match. It definitely broke the boundaries of a WWE main event style.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I thought it was all the better for it.
Two former leaders of Bullet Club, as Michael Cole put it.
Cody Rhodes was not the leader of the Bullet Club, Michael Cole.
What do you mean? He was in Bullet Club. He's Cody Rhodes. So he must have been the leader.
He was not. And he was in the Bullet Club. It was Kenny Omega, not Cody Rhodes.
Oh, well.
Semantics.
He's not going to say that he was the leader, so...
You could have just said two former members of Bullet Club.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah, that's very accurate. Yeah, but yeah, this match fucking ruled. It was awesome. The presentation of it all was great.
Yeah. If this is what Cody's title reign is going to be, I'm all here for it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, considering he's facing Logan Paul next, that match is probably also going to be very good.
Oh, yeah, and in like a different way as well. A different way to AJ Styles.
Yeah, he's going to be cheating a whole bunch.
That top rope Cody kind of looked a bit dodgy, though.
He has been botching it a bit recently.
That was probably the only problem was that, well, he went to like the top rope, like all the way to the top. That was probably the only bad thing in the match, really.
Yeah, probably. I mean, AJ Styles...
These two just have great dynamics together.
AJ Styles, since turning heel, has gotten super jacked, and he's starting to show more of that old flame again. We're starting to see the young AJ sort of resurface, which is nice to see. He's obviously not going full TNA level, but, you know, this is kind of the best he's been in a few years. The pandemic kind of drained him, I think.
It was very good.
Also, I just think in WWE he works better as a heel
anyway. The camera was shaking.
Yeah, from the crowd.
Announced.
And also the fact that the French crowd
was shaking.
The French crowd didn't tire. They were loud for every match all night.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure
this match was when the camera was shaking at its absolute peak.
Yeah, it felt like a gladiators Colosseum fight with lots of people in the crowd.
Yeah, this match was awesome. Really great spots throughout. Mm-hmm. Just great chemistry together.
Yeah, they do actually.
Crowd went into it.
Very good chemistry. I think possibly because Cody is obviously a bit younger, but they are cut from a similar cloth in terms of the way they were trained. But it's just the
thing, though. They wouldn't have had... There's obviously their first ever one-on-one match.
It is, somehow.
Unless he faced Stardust in a random dark match just before Cody left.
Well, that's true, actually.
He did the flip.
I can't remember.
And then he did the...
I can't remember.
I don't think they did. I think that... I think that would have been brought up by now, if that was the case.
I don't think AJ Styles ever wrestled Stardust, to be honest.
No.
In that 6-month run.
Someone on Twitter would have said...
Well, it's actually kind of 4. It was 4 months, really.
The reason why I say that is because in 2016, outside of the ladder match at WrestleMania, Stardust was in jobber matches. AJ Styles was brand new and he was wrestling main eventers in almost every match.
I don't remember him ever facing Stardust. I feel like I would have remembered that.
Yeah, I mean, and also they were on the same side during the Bullet Club. I mean, technically, actually, you know, they weren't even in the Bullet Club at the same time. So they wouldn't have cross paths at all.
No.
Because they were kind of like two ships passing in the night, really.
He did do the Stardust Taunt, though, in this match.
That was very great, yeah. He did the flip, the cartwheel, and then taunted him.
Yeah. And Cody would have never wrestled AJ on the live events in the last 2 years either, would he? Because they were on different brands.
No. Yeah. And obviously Styles has been injured for a while. Rose was injured for 6 months.
Yeah. So this really was their first match, and they absolutely blew it away. They did a great job.
And it was their first match. It was a hell of a match.
Do you think we'll get a rematch at some point between these two?
Probably not.
You reckon this is a one and done? Like, it can't really top it?
In their whole career, probably not. But in this reign, I'd imagine so, unless they bring it back.
Well, I mean,
like,
AJ says he's not going to wrestle for that much longer. He's going to retire in the next few years. Like, he's almost done.
Pretty much, but he's still putting out bangers like this.
Well, he said the reason why is because he wakes up every morning and his body is really sore.
Yeah,
and he wants to live. He wants to, he wants to live his life. He's in his mid-40s.
Yeah, I mean he's got kids, so
yeah.
You know what I'm really thankful though, really thankful for, is the fact that finally they're not doing the fucking multi-crossroads anymore.
That's true.
It's just one crossroads and that's it.
They watched your review and they listened to your criticisms.
Because they could, if they kept doing it at this point, it would have been actually insane.
You know, I think I figured out why Dave Meltzer gave this 5 stars. It's because AJ Styles did the Burning Hammer.
There, instant 4.5 stars right off the bat.
Yep, and Cody kicked out at 1, so it's a Japanese match.
That's also true.
Yep. Although it was a very safe Burning Hammer, I will say. He rotated them around in a circle, as opposed to Kenta Kobashi, who would literally drop them on their neck. But yeah, this was a awesome main event. A great way to close the show. Put a nice pin in it. Yeah. I don't really have many more thoughts than that. I don't have a lot of in-depth...
No, because this show was very much it felt very much like a tourist show in a weird way. Like it's like a very, very high quality house show. Because that's what a lot of these out of country pay-per-views are like. They're just really good matches, really good crowd reactions with a couple of good moments and debuts and stuff.
True.
I think what elevated this to be very memorable was the crowd, who were on fire from start to finish. They never let up.
That's true. I mean, to be
That's
fair,
what makes it very memorable as a show.
This is the kind of in-your-house template that was created in the mid-90s anyway. Is you have the big pay-per-views, the big 5. I mean, to be fair, King of the Ring used to be one of the big 5, and now it's Money in the Bank. And King of the Ring now exists more so as a B show. But
I think also with this show that there wasn't, in terms of the most interesting stuff going on right now in the company, it probably wasn't on the show. Like Drew wasn't on the show, Punk isn't on the show.
Roman Reigns, The Rock.
That's the Roman Reigns, Rock. Though the most interesting things that have been happening in the last couple of months weren't on this show, other than, I guess you could say, obviously Cody.
And as I've said before with some of these shows, is that Triple H will only put like half the belts on it and have not as many matches. Because I can guarantee that there will be another pay-per-view soon where they'll do the opposite and they'll have the World Women's title instead of the WWE Women's title. I mean, I guess they already did, right? The Elimination Chamber show was that. That was made evented by the World Women's title.
The Elimination Chamber was Rhea.
Yeah. And the same thing would happen often last year with one show would have the IC title, the other one would have the US title.
I mean, it makes sense.
But every
It's a
show
good
would
way to do
have
it.
the World Heavyweight Championship because Roman Reigns wasn't there.
Yeah.
No, the B title had to do it.
Yeah. But now it seems like they're going to have seemingly both men's world titles on every show, which changes things a bit.
Yeah.
How do we
that's
feel-
good?
Damien will be at Jeddah.
How do we feel about the fact that the IC title, the US title, and neither men's tag titles were on this show?
It all depends. For me, it always depends if they're still being actively done story-wise on weekly shows.
Mm.
Yeah, again, I don't know. It's like, could they have had another match here? Sure, they probably could have, because this was only a 2.5 hour to nearly 3 hour show.
Oh, I just remembered. So the Cody Logan match, is this a unification or is it a non-title match?
No, it was announced on SmackDown. It's just for the world title. Because
Yeah,
Okay.
on
Logan Paul
SmackDown,
specifically
they tried to say it
had
was
it
for
in a
both
contract he
titles.
wrote up.
Okay, good.
They tried to say it was for both, and then Logan was like, "No, I'm not defending my title."
I was
Yeah,
concerned.
because he's a heel.
I was concerned.
Because if they were defending both titles, I was gonna say I would not know who would win that.
Well,
'cause I'm
Cody
like,
Rhodes winning the US
Cody.
title would be so pointless.
well, he doesn't. It's only to
I
make
don't
him
know. I
grand-
think
it
that
will make him a
in
Grand Slam
similar way
champion. That's
to
why.
in the similar way to how Seth won it, having a babyface like Cody Rhodes winning it, I think probably is not a bad idea. And he would be
what would be the
'cause he would
rationale?
defend both. We would defend both. If he's forced in a situation and he wins, he would defend both every night. He defends one of the belts.
So he has two
But
matches.
I agree, yeah, because he's Cody Rhodes. But I do agree that I probably just wouldn't do that. I don't think it's a bad idea, but I just probably wouldn't do it.
Nah, I don't see it as a good idea at all, to be honest. I just feel
Fair
like it just muddles things. It's not the right situation to do a thing like that. The Seth thing was different in 2015. I feel like that was a
No, it was, yeah.
I feel like that was a special circumstance where they could get away with it, and it, in theory, gave us the Cena and the Sting thing. Unfortunately, it ended Sting's WWE career, which was sad. But Cena had the whole open challenge storyline, and that led into the reason why he's like, I've defended this against every challenger, and now I am going to challenge for the world title and put my US title on the line to do so. I think that was an interesting thing to do with it. It's also like, because WrestleMania 6 main event was Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior, and both belts were on the line. And like, if Hulk Hogan had won, what would be the point in him being the Intercontinental Champion and the world title and the world champion? It's like, he's not really winning anything he doesn't already have outside of like a statistic. Whereas Ultimate Warrior, the Intercontinental Champion, winning the world title was a much bigger deal. I think if you're going to have the world champion win a mid-card title, there has to be a pretty good reason for it that would actually, benefit a story.
I mean, it makes him a Grand Slam champ if he wins, but he obviously doesn't need it.
No, it's such a like arbitrary statistic. And Logan Paul being US champion is interesting in itself.
Yeah, he'll keep that until SummerSlam at least.
Yeah, I'm interested though, because SummerSlam's in Cleveland. If he faces someone and loses it, will that winner get booed?
Probably. I don't
Not
know.
sure.
Maybe people in Cleveland might not even like him.
It's possible. We'll have to wait and see.
Just because it's his hometown, they might still boo him.
Fascinating. I just thought of something crazy that is probably never going to happen, but imagine a feud between MJF and Logan Paul. That could be fascinating. I don't know if Logan Paul could handle that, to be honest, in terms of promos. Like, I don't know if he's at that level. He'd probably just get buried. Anyway, so that was Backlash. I'm still the champion. Better luck next time.
Well, next week we'll try
It
again.
is. Yeah. Next weekend's pretty big for wrestling because we've got the King and Queen of the Ring on it's Saturday in the US, Sunday for me and you, Regan.
Monday for me, yeah.
And the very next day is AEW Double or Nothing. So there's 2 pay-per-views in one weekend.
Oh boy.
Yep. The last time we had this, I believe, was in September when we had, what was it, Payback, or was it Fast? I think it was Fastlane and All Out. Was it Payback and All Out? I can't remember. I think it was Payback. Yeah, Payback and All Out in one weekend. Earlier than that, I remember 2022, it was at Clash at the Castle and All Out as well. Yes, but Callum, are you looking forward to being back in contention again?
Yes, hopefully I can have a better performance.
You got 2 chances in one weekend.
You got so utterly destroyed at WrestleMania.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. But yeah. So this is going to be fascinating because we have 2 shows. So how is this going to work? Obviously, I'm on predictions for both of them. I mean, I don't know. What are we going to do? Because Callum, last time, what we did was we combined the predictions of 2 shows, but if it's... I guess the WWE show will be the title match, won't it?
Yeah. Oh, which one's first? Is it the WWE show?
Yeah, the WWE show is first.
Right. Okay.
It only becomes an issue if I win the WWE show, and then if I win that one, there's no title on the line for the next one.
There isn't, but what we could do is if that happens, the AEW show is the #1 contenders match for the next show. Which would be what, Clash at the Castle?
Yes.
Yes, I believe so.
Interesting. What if we have a mid-card title? That would be stupid.
No, that'd be so stupid.
God. Anyway, we'll figure it out. Any last comments from either of you?
Good show. Good show.
Yeah.
Good show, great crowd.
That's exactly what I think. Yeah, so I'll see you all for King and Queen of the Ring. Hopefully Saudi Arabia is a bit louder this time than they were last time, because they're very quiet usually. Which is great for their golf brand, but not great for wrestling. Yeah, so King of the Queen of the Ring and then Double or Nothing. We'll see you next time. I bid you adieu, a good night, and a good